Hello everyone, this is First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich. I want to give you an update on the severe weather potential for later today and tonight. What you're looking at right now is the visible satellite image across the southeast. We're socked in with clouds right now, but something that I'm a little concerned about is the amount of clearing that's going on not only to our east. It doesn't look like a lot, but it's allowing for some sun to break through. Also a couple peaks up here near Mooresville in southern Iredell County, and then down to the south. I'm going to start putting on some things on here that will kind of show you what's going on. We'll put the radar on first. There's our line of severe thunderstorms to our west. That's actually where the severe weather has been. I'm going to turn the warnings on, and we're going to put on the watches here in a second. What you're looking at right now is the tornado watch and the warnings that are going on. There's a couple tornado warnings embedded in this line, but what's going on is that this very warm air is surging up to the north, and let me show you how that looks. We'll put on essentially what you're going to see here are the surface temperatures. Now these are the surface temperatures. We'll go in close to the Carolinas. Look at these temperatures out here. It's back into the 70s and 60s, and that warm air is surging north and west. This area right in here is still wedged in with some cool air, but back here the warm air is winning out. And when you take a look at the dew point temperatures, look at the dew points in the 60s to our south and east, and that air is advecting or being transported back to the north and west. So right now in Gastonia, we've got a dew point of 56. It's 59 in Charlotte, but up in Lincolnton, it's still 49. So this air mass up here is still stable. So a couple things I want to show you is the mesoanalysis. This is essentially showing first what you're looking at here is something we call the supercell parameter. And the brighter the color, the better the chance for supercells. Now this updates every hour or so, and the supercell index has been building here across the upstate of South Carolina. Significant tornado parameter. The good news for right now is that that is confined to parts of southern Alabama and Georgia. We're looking at Cape. The Cape is still confined down towards the Gulf Coast, but here's the thing that's really concerning me. This is shear, and when you get up into this area in the upstate of South Carolina, this is 40 knots of shear. So this is changing of wind direction or speed with height. So what we're ending up is with 40 knots of shear building over South Carolina. You can see the shear, which is evident obviously with the squall line, but back to the east of there over the upstate of South Carolina, I'm noticing the shear really starting to crank up over this region. So this is the concern as we go into the afternoon. Now the reason that we're so hyped up on this right now is really because the Storm Prediction Center, everything you see in that yellow, that is the slight risk. Let me show you the probability of tornadoes. When you get into the yellow, you're talking about a 5% probability of a tornado within any point on the map within 25 miles. The darker brown here, this is a 10% chance, and because this is hashed on the Storm Prediction Center Outlook, this also means EF2 to EF5 tornadoes, there's a 10% probability as well. And let me show you that area shaded in right now. I showed you this earlier, but if you look, it's roughly south and east of I-85. So it's actually been shifted a little bit east from this morning, which means areas back to the northwest, you're not out of the woods, it just means the highest risk is going to be just to the east of Charlotte. So this is why we're watching this carefully. Also, let me show you the risk of strong winds. We're also right in this brown area, which is a 30% probability of damaging wind gusts. So you can kind of see how everything's starting to come together here across the Carolinas and why we're really so concerned about what's going to happen later this afternoon. So we'll be watching it carefully, but I highly suspect we will see some kind of tornado watch issued probably for the upstate of South Carolina, maybe the Piedmont of North Carolina, mid to late afternoon. This watch right here is in effect until 2 o'clock Central Time, which is right there. So this one is actually in effect to 2 o'clock Central Time, which is 1 o'clock Eastern Time. So I'm thinking around 2 or 3, we're going to probably see this watch extended back to the north and east. So something we're keeping a close eye on. Of course, I will tweet and Facebook watches and warnings as soon as we get them, but the best way, follow me on Twitter, wxbrad on Twitter, and I'll get those warnings to you as soon as possible.